Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for the Homecoming Scotland webinar for 2014. I have Emma Addict, the Marketing Manager for Trade in North America from Visit Scotland on the line, and Susan Russell, the Marketing Manager for Edinburgh's Festivals to present to you folks today. Amy Sutherland is from Visit Scotland is on chat and will be able to answer any questions. Okay, we'll get started. Over to Emma.
Hi, good morning, and thank you all for dialing in. I'm Emma from Visit Scotland. Today we're going to take you through what is Homecoming 2014. We're going to look at some of the key events and just explain to you about some of the products that may be useful for your clients. We've also got Susan Russell here who will talk to you a bit about some of the Edinburgh festivals that are happening during 2014 as well. So just to start with, I'm looking at the slide here, the Homecoming aim. Some of you may have worked with Homecoming back in 2009. It was a fantastic year for Scotland. It was a full year of events and celebrations, especially relevant for our friends here in North America because of their ancestral contacts. We also have in 2014, on top of our calendar of events, big events happening such as the Commonwealth Games and the Ryder Cup. Just looking at some of the key themes we have for Homecoming in 2014, I think you'll find that these are relevant in any year for some of your clients coming to Scotland, but it's nice to be able to group some of the products and give you ideas about what type of products you can look at for your clients during the 2014 celebrations. As I said, it's a year-long calendar of events, and especially key for the Canadian market is your link to Scotland via your ancestral connections. Whether they be through some of the diaspora groups here in Canada that may look at travelling over for some of the big clan and family celebrations in 2014, or people that are looking to research some of their ancestral roots, tracing those back to Scotland. We've also got a food and drink theme, one of my favourite themes, focusing around whisky, food festivals, and the fabulous eating and drinking experiences that you can have in Scotland. There are also some great active products throughout 2014, one of those being golf, Scotland of course being the home of golf. The key event during the year for the golfing lovers will be Ryder Cup. However, there's also lots of other golfing experiences for people to have throughout the country with over 550 golf courses. There's also some fabulous adventure and walking products, as well as cycling too. As I mentioned, Susan will talk about some of the creative products, especially around some of the great festivals we have in Edinburgh. And we're going to take a look at the natural environment as well as the historic environment of Scotland. Just a great resource for you guys to take a look at is our homecoming.scotland.com website. We launched the Homecoming program last week to the North American market as well as to our local market back in the United Kingdom. So if you look down on the top left square, you'll see a link through to the events. That's where you'll find a great event listing. At the moment we're sitting, I think, at just over 100 events, and those will be continually updated throughout the next few months as more events are confirmed. There's also some links through to the different themes that I just mentioned to give you some more ideas about what type of products will fit under those. So we're going to start off looking at some of the great ancestry events that are happening during 2014. One of the key events is the anniversary of the Battle of Bannockburn. That's the 700th anniversary of when Robert the Bruce took back his castle from the English. Really important date in Scottish history, something the Scots are very, very proud of. So centred around that anniversary, there will be the relaunch of the Bannockburn Visitor Centre, which will have a fabulous 3D visitor experience. And during the dates of the 28th and 30th of June, there'll be battle reenactments, which will be spectacular, held on the site, as well as some clan gathering activity. Now, the Bannockburn site is run by the National Trust for Scotland, so I'll get Amy to pop up in a minute the website there so you can have a look at some of the trade information for Bannockburn. As you probably are aware, because you also have a lot of them here in Canada, there'll be some Highland Games activity in Scotland focused around Inverness. It'll be a traditional and contemporary celebration through the months of September and October with a lot of great events that are traditionally happening on the Highland Games calendar, as well as some extra events for 2014. Now, the Commonwealth Games are also very important date on our calendar for 2014. They're happening in Glasgow between the dates of the 23rd and the 3rd of August. Now, we hope to have more information for you in June about ticket information, but it's also worth mentioning, as I know many of you would have had experience with the Olympics, that it's business as usual in Glasgow during that time, and there should be no accommodation issues. And as I said, we'll get back to you with more information about ticketing information at around about June. There's also a great cultural program that will be announced alongside that. So it's a great opportunity for you to extend some of your clients' stay in Scotland to participate in that fabulous cultural program around the Commonwealth Games. Just looking at some more of the ancestral products. We've got Historic Scotland, which some of you who work with Scottish product may already be aware of. Historic Scotland are a government agency that manage over 300 properties throughout Scotland. Two of them that you may have heard of before are Edinburgh Castle and Stirling Castle, and they also offer great passes for your clients to take advantage of, not only saving them money but also allowing them to queue jump and get into some of these more popular properties without having to wait in line. Now, there's also the Scotland's People Centre. Now, this is in Edinburgh, and a great place if you have clients looking to research some of their ancestry. They can get access to census information, birth, death, marriage information. All of that's housed in the Scotland's People Centre in Edinburgh. Now along to my favourite topic, which is the food and drink of Scotland. Every year we do celebrate Whisky Month, so in 2014 that will be celebrated in May throughout all of the different whisky producing regions like Speyside, Islay, Jura. There'll be whisky events happening all over the country. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with whisky, you could almost compare it to fine wine in that different regions produce different types of whisky, different flavours, different aromas. It is definitely the water of life, as they call it in Scotland, and a great thing to get involved in if you're out in Scotland during May. There's part of Whisky Month, we celebrate the Spirit of Speyside Whisky Festival. Excuse me. Now, Speyside is one of the most popular regions for whisky. The most volume of whisky in Scotland comes from Speyside. It has the most number of distilleries, and you can see brands there that you may already be familiar with, such as Glenfiddich and Glenlivet. Speyside tends to produce a milder whisky than maybe some of the Western Isles, and there's also a whisky trail that you can access in Speyside, and more information on that trail is available on our Travel Trade website as well. Just looking at some more products around food and drink and whisky. We've got some fabulous food and drink trails throughout Scotland. We're very well known in Scotland for some of our seafood, so Scottish lobster, crab, shellfish, oysters. There's some absolutely gorgeous seafood available in Scotland, and you can also find fabulous cheeses and great natural produce. And a great way to experience that is through a farm stay. This is a great way for your clients to meet the local people, get under the skin of the local culture, and share food and drink at a table with the locals, and some of that food would have been produced in the immediate area. I'm not sure if anyone was watching Canada AM this morning, but we had a chef from the Three Chimneys on the Isle of Skye presenting a reasonably contemporary Scottish dish, which was venison and curly kale, which seemed to go down quite well. So there is a plethora of fabulous natural food available in Scotland. Now moving on to the active theme, as I mentioned, we do have the Ryder Cup happening in Scotland from the 26th to the 28th of September in 2014. But alongside that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about golfing in general. Now, Scotland has over 550 golf courses, so if you do have clients who are interested in playing some golf, you don't have to confine yourselves to, I think, the grand dames of the golf courses such as Glen Eagles or the old course at St Andrews. Golf is definitely a very accessible sport for anyone who's coming into Scotland. If you're in Edinburgh, you can be in a beautiful seaside golf course within 20 to 30 minutes and pay reasonable green fees. So definitely something to consider for your clients who are interested in golfing while they're in Scotland. Now, walking is one of my personal hobbies, and I love walking in Scotland. There are a lot of walking and active products available, and not just for the younger market. There's definitely some more softer activities available for the older market. We have got great facilities as well, so great pubs, great accommodation, places to eat right along the way. Some of those great walks you may be already familiar with, such as the West Highland Way. I live in Fife, and there's a Fife Coastal Trail just outside of my front door, which is fabulous. So there's definitely a lot of walks accessible to your clients while they're in Scotland, whether they're guided walks or whether they just want to take 10 or 15 minute train ride out of the cities and take in some of the beautiful countryside. It's definitely very accessible. Now I'm going to pass over to my colleague Susan of Edinburgh Festivals, and she's going to chat through some of the creative products available during the Year of Homecoming.
Hello, good morning everybody, and we're delighted to speak to you today all about Edinburgh's festivals. I'm just going to chat to you a little bit about our festivals and what's happening both this year and obviously next year with the Year of Homecoming. A lot of people might be familiar with the generic Edinburgh Festival, but there are actually 12 festivals that take place throughout the year. We have a couple of spring festivals. Our Edinburgh International Science Festival actually concluded yesterday. Next on the calendar is our Children's Imaginate Festival, which celebrates the very best of world theatre for children and young people. That takes place in May. We have the Edinburgh International Film Festival in June, which last year actually hosted the European premiere of Disney Pixar's Brave movie, which I know Visit Scotland has been very keen on promoting, especially looking at the Year of Natural theme this year. And then from the end of July until the start of September, we actually have 7 different festivals that take place. Our calendar kicks off with the Edinburgh Jazz and Blues Festival, and then over the first weekend in August, we have the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, which is the world's largest arts festival. We also have the Edinburgh Art Festival, which is across 40 different venues and art gallery spaces celebrating the very best in visual art. The Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, which I believe quite a few of you include within your portfolios, a cast of 1,000 different people standing in front of Edinburgh's iconic castle. Then from the middle of August through till the end of the month, we have the Edinburgh International Festival, which celebrates the very best in classical art form across music, dance, theatre and opera, and the Edinburgh International Book Festival, which is the world's largest celebration of literature, with over 800 different author events taking place over 10 days. And then over the final weekend, we are celebrating the Edinburgh Mela, which is our multicultural festival that takes place in a great green space within the city centre. Then we have a slight respite before the autumn in October when we welcome the Scottish International Storytelling Festival. Very much celebration of both Scottish and international storytellers all coming together in the city for 10 days. And we conclude the year with Edinburgh's Hogmanay, which a lot know as New Year, when 80,000 people gather in Princes Street in Edinburgh, below Edinburgh's iconic castle again, and just have a really fantastic party. So over those 12 festivals and across the year, we welcome some 35,000 performers from over 70 countries, taking part in over 45,000 performances. So it really is the festival capital of the world. Throughout the year, we welcome some 4.2 million attendances, and we're actually worth around 261 million British pounds to the Scottish economy. So Emma will probably shoot me for saying this, but we're actually bigger than the golf industry in Scotland. So it's not just about ticketing, but it's very much about putting money back into the local economy through bars, restaurants and accommodation. So looking specific at Edinburgh Summer Festivals, I rattle through them in terms of our calendar, but you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner a photo of our iconic Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. We also have the Festival Fringe, the International and the Book Festival. So lots of visitors talk about the Edinburgh Festival, but there are those 7 great, very different festivals taking place over a 5-week period. In 2014, in the Year of Homecoming, Emma mentioned the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, and they actually conclude on the opening weekend of our summer festivals. So for any clients that are looking for a sporting and cultural vacation, then there's definitely a fantastic 2-city tour option that they could undertake. So experience Glasgow, very modern city, the Commonwealth Games, and then travel through to Edinburgh, its historic counterpart, and enjoy the Festival Fringe, the Tattoo, and our art festivals. specifically about the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. As I mentioned briefly, there's a cast of around 1,000 that take part in it. It actually started way back in 1947, just after the Fringe and International began, and back then there were just 8 companies that took part. But even then it still had a very strong following with an audience of around 6,000 people in its inaugural year. Now it's actually just had a new £16 million stand infrastructure created. So it's, I think, one of the most technically advanced structures in the world for a performance of this type. It's in front of the iconic Edinburgh Castle, and the castle is very much part of the experience and the event of the tattoo, with a fantastic lighting system and imagery used to really bring the castle to life. There are 1,000 performers that take part, which are a mix of the massed pipes and drums, dancers and other performers from the military. And trade sales for tickets for 2014 go on sale on the 1st of December 2013 for next year's run. There are, of course, the 6 other festivals that take place alongside the tattoo, and we very much offer a bespoke service for travel trade engagement for clients that might be looking to experience Edinburgh's festivals. So it's just a case of getting in touch with myself and our wider team, and we'd be able to offer you recommendations of shows that your clients might be interested in, whether that be for art form if they're particularly interested in music or dance or theatre, or very much if they're just looking for a really great experience. It's very much about word on the street in Edinburgh in August in terms of knowing and understanding the really good shows. So we can absolutely put you in touch with the right people to make sure that your clients have the best time in Edinburgh. And just lastly, Edinburgh's Hogmanay. They have an audience of around 100,000 people within the arena over the night of Hogmanay itself. The ticket price is just £15. It's a fantastic event. There are a mix of bands, live music, different things happening across the whole street, and obviously the midnight fireworks moment, which this year actually went on for about 6 to 8 minutes. A fantastic experience. There's lots of Scots out in force to celebrate one of the best parties of the year. And there's also a ceilidh element, so visitors can come along and find out how to undertake Scottish dances. So it really is a fantastic event for people to take part in. That's just my contact details, which I'm sure Jacqueline and the team will share with everybody. But we're very keen to work closer with our trade colleagues in Canada. So if anybody has any ideas about new products or ways of working closer with the festivals, we'd be absolutely delighted to hear from you. And I'll pass you back to Emma. Thank you very much.
Hi, and thank you, Susan, for taking us through some of those great festivals that are happening in 2014. I'm now going to move on to the natural theme of Homecoming 2014, and just to highlight one of the events that's happening under that theme. It's the John Muir Festival. John Muir is the father of national parks. He created Yosemite National Park in the US, and we'll be celebrating his achievements in April 2014 with the opening of the John Muir Coast to Coast. Looking at some of the products that are available for your clients around that natural theme, Wild Scotland is a group of operators offering varying products with that wild and nature aspect. So whether your clients want to kayak with seals, birdwatch on Loch Leven, Wild Scotland is a great place for you to start looking for those types of products. And we also have Neolithic Orkney. Orkney, an island off the coast of Scotland. We have a World Heritage Site which is run by Historic Scotland. You can see there in the top right-hand frame the stone circles, Mascara Brae in the bottom right there, which is an old settlement, one of the oldest in the world, 5,000 years old, older than the pyramids itself. So Orkney is a fantastic place to explore that ancient culture and natural side of Scotland. Now we've run through the themes, I just wanted to let you know what we'll be doing in regards to marketing here in Canada around 2014. At the moment you may have seen some of our consumer-facing advertising running with the Life is Light campaign. We'll be increasing our spend in the market and focusing on some of those homecoming themes throughout the rest of 2013. And we're looking at specific market segments here in Canada. So those Canadians who are distant cousins or have ancestral ties with Scotland, those cultural explorers that, while they may not have direct family ties, are just really interested in learning more about Scottish history and culture. Of course, our golf enthusiasts, whether that be for the Ryder Cup or whether just to come out and play a fabulous round of golf out in Scotland. And of course with our Commonwealth ties, whether that be the Commonwealth Games themselves or the program of events running around the Commonwealth Games. I wanted to highlight that now that we have available for you online a homecoming toolkit. So that has everything you need to start marketing your products with the homecoming branding. There's images, there's all sorts of good stuff in there to help you sell homecoming. And I'll get Amy to pop up in a minute the homecoming link so you can go straight to that site. Logos, images, everything's there. And if there's anything that you do need from us, please do let us know. And of course, we do have our traditional travel trade website. On there you can find toolkits of the Scots Agent program, as well as lots of tips and tricks to help you create a program. One of those is the Scots Agent program. So this is our educational course for agents. It consists of 6 online seminars that teach you all about Scotland's different regions. I've completed them myself. They take about an hour to 2 hours to complete, depending on your knowledge. And they're a great way to brush up and get ready to sell some of those homecoming products. I also wanted to talk you through Visit Scotland Expo. Every year we have a B2B conference in Scotland. This year it will be running on the 17th and 18th of April. In 2014 the dates are the 9th and 10th of April. So that's when we bring product buyers down to Scotland to meet with around 250 Scottish suppliers in one-to-one meetings over a 2-day period. A great opportunity for you to come and research new product, and we do offer pre and post FAM trips as well. If you are an agent, then a good way to be involved in that is to make sure you do the Scots Agent program, and then there may be an opportunity for you to come down and take part in one of those FAM trips. So there we have it. We've got a lot happening in 2014. I hope this has been a good introduction to everyone as to what the key themes are and what Visit Scotland will be doing to promote those. If you do have any questions, we've got Amy on the line that can answer those. Thank you very much all for signing in. I hope you found it useful, and Amy will also pop up now some of the contact details and websites for you to get in touch with us if you do have any questions.
Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you so much to Emma, Susan, and Amy for being here to answer questions. I will be sending out the presentation and the recorded webinar to all of the registered participants. Thanks again for attending. Cheers everyone.